This conference will now be recorded.
Without the great work that everyone has done over the last year, we wouldn't be able to be doing some of the things that we're announcing today. So I want to thank you and tell everyone how much we appreciate the flexibility, the dedication over the last years. And I really think the best indicator of that is I talk to so many people and read in so many places about organizations that have had huge turnover over the last year. And for an organization like Newtrax, we have pretty much kept a terrific team intact over that last year, which I think is a great indication of the terrific work that you guys have all done. On Friday, we put a message out to address some of the recent events that are happening locally in our White Bear community, in the Twin Cities as a whole, and in the wake of the Chauvin trial verdict coming out likely sometime this week, the events in Brooklyn Center, I thought it's important to reiterate to this team our commitment as an organization to be a welcoming and inclusive organization. And that's something that truly takes a team effort to do, and something that we are committed to do as an organization. And we highlighted some of the work that we've done over the last 10 months since the message we put out in last June regarding the George Floyd incident in Minneapolis. And we have reached out to numerous community partners to help us broaden our recruiting, and so we can recruit a more diverse workforce, how to ensure that we are being welcoming to all individuals. And we continue to take additional steps in that manner. I've recently volunteered to join a welcoming and inclusive task force for the city of White Bear Lake, where it's kind of twofold in that I want to be a voice of people with disabilities and seniors that we serve as part of that task force, and also to get ideas and learn and hear about what's going on in our community, that hopefully we can take some of those lessons learned and apply them to our organization as well. And, I want everyone to know that my office door is always open for additional ideas, thoughts that people might have for us to take step forwards as an organization. And if it's more difficult for you to do that in person, you can give us those thoughts anonymously, either by going to someone else with our management team. You can leave a note and put it on Melanie's desk in her office, anonymously, that will then be shared with, that she can take a look at and share with me or others that may need to see it. But this is something that's very, very important to me, to our organization, and something that we will continually work towards being better at. So just wanted to reiterate our commitment to that and let everyone know that our ears are always open to those ideas. Lastly, before I turn it back over to Melanie for the rest of our program, just kind of an FYI that over the weekend we did have 8 catalytic converters stolen off of our buses in the parking lot. And for everyone to be vigilant if they see things that seem unusual or different going on around here, please let us know. This is a widespread thing going on around our city, around the country right now, but if anyone sees things out of the normal, please try to notice those things and let us know. So with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Melanie.
All right, thank you, Mike. And then I'm going to pass it over to Patty, who's going to tell us about an introduction to any new employees.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the meeting. Yes, we do have some new drivers. We have Dave and Don who have started in the community outings and picking up students. So welcome, Don and Dave. They've been here a few weeks. And then we also have some new guys that have just went out on routes for the first time today to see how their new routes are going to look. And we have Howard that will be taking over for Kenji. Kenji did leave us, so Howard will be taking over that route. So welcome him as you see him around, and also Jude. Jude is going to be doing some community as well as some routes. So he's going to be using his time into all sorts of things for us. So welcome, Jude, as well. And just remember, we're always looking for drivers, especially now with community outings starting up. We're going to be starting with loops, and there's going to be a lot more coming from Scott. So we're always looking for part-time drivers. So remember, there is a referral. So if you know of anyone that wants to work part-time, have them come and see me. We also, full-time as well. So welcome, drivers, and I will give it back to Melanie now.
All right, thank you, Patty, and yes, welcome, welcome, welcome. And we want to just do a quick reminder of a benefit that is available to you. I know we sent out in several communications, but we just want to make sure that we don't just have it in writing, but we also tell you verbally that there is a gym that we actually have a benefit that you can go and use the gym. It's called Tiger Fitness, and it is only about 1/4 of a mile away from Newtrax. Especially now that the weather is getting nicer, you can probably walk over there. It is available to us from 10 to, is it 10 to 2? I have 10 to noon on here. Mike, 10 to 2 or 10 to noon?
10 to noon. It's during our midday time.
Okay, great. So during our midday time, it is available to you. I do know we have a good handful of people that are using it. And would anyone like to take a moment to tell us about your experience so far at Tiger Fitness and how you are liking that? Just give anybody a second to join on. That is a free benefit to you. So if you have any questions about it specifically, feel free to ask Patty, myself, Mike, so whoever. We'd love to tell you more about that and get more people to use that benefit. And if you are willing to tell us about that, you can do that in the chat feature. I just want to make sure people know it's there. You can ask a question anytime in the chat feature. And you can also unmute yourself and ask a question as well. So the next thing is I'm going to pass it over to Mike G or Mel, whichever one would like to tell us a little bit more about that. But we have gotten the privilege of being able to update our phone system. And I feel like it's been a great benefit to our organization and really helped smooth out a lot of communication processes, especially in dispatch. Would either one of you like to lead us on that?
Well, I can start by thanking Mel for the hard work and effort he put into switching our phone system over to something that is much more efficient for us, helped us improve our cancellation list, and really helping us improve the overall efficiency of calls coming in. So it's helped us from that standpoint. And Mel, if there's anything else you'd like to add about it, that'd be great. Can't hear you, Mel.
At least see your red microphone now.
It's nice to see that our IT person has the same issue.
There you go. I see it green now.
Does anybody know the number of the IT guy? No, I think everybody's pretty familiar with their phones at this point. There's probably more. Can you still hear me? All right. There's probably more mobile features. So if anybody feels like they want a little bit more in-depth explanation of what the new phone system will do in terms of mobility. I mean, you can get all of your calls on your cell phone. There's a mobile app. If your calls and your voicemails are not forwarding to your email, they should be. So if you guys have any other questions about the phone system or want it to do something that you can't yet get it to do, just let me know. There's probably a way to do it. The only other thing I want to mention quick is we've been sharing this phone system with PAI, and that's worked well, but we're actually going to split off and have our own tenant for the phone system. So in the next couple of weeks sometime, we'll be coming around and actually switching out your phones, but it's for the same phone system. So nothing is actually going to change. I just want to give you the heads up on that. But it will help us with a few things on the back end, like caller ID, outgoing caller ID, and things like that. So aside from that, I don't really have anything.
Melanie, just for me to a quick follow-up that is related to phone systems, but not exactly the phone systems. And we want to apologize to all the drivers for some of the challenges with the All-Trans system that we had a couple of weeks ago. And we are meeting with our vendor on that to discuss some of the challenges that we've had, trying to make sure that that works more smoothly moving forward. So we're aware of those challenges and working on them currently.
Perfect, thank you. And Douglas, from your side, with the new phone system, did you want to talk about how that's improving things in dispatch?
Yes. So we're able to save the dispatchers some hectic days. So when they have clients have changes, they can call and leave a message on a message service, and we get the transcript and are able to take care of them at a later point. Because usually what happens is people call at the same exact moment. Drivers call in and say, "Hey, can you call the house?" So that has saved us heartache and has allowed us to serve the drivers a lot better in dispatch.
Wonderful, thank you, Douglas. All right, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to pass it over to Rini. She's got a few announcements for us. So Rini, you want to take it away?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome, and happy Monday, if we can call it that. We have been having some problems with our camera systems on the buses. And so I have been going on and will continue to go on the buses and pulling the hard drives out of the buses and checking your cameras and seeing if they work and such. And if you guys, and just off the cuff, if you guys do have anything that you want me to check out on your camera, any specific incidents that may happen, please let me know so that I can pull those hard drives and I can look specifically for those. But I'll try to leave your buses in the same state that I found them. So I apologize if I forget to put your curtain back up or whatever, but please forgive me. And this would be a good time, I think, to make sure that all the drivers should be checking their cubbies up on top and making sure that there's not a lot of excess clutter, such as maybe you have a couple of coats stuck up there or some extra blankets, maybe some old spray bottles that you aren't using. Just things like that you could really clean out of there. Some of these cubbies I open and I have things falling on top of me, so not fun. And it really shouldn't be that crowded up there. We don't want to be putting stuffing things really closely to those hard drives up there, just in case it may overheat, make the device overheat, or if there's a short in one of the wires, we don't want to start a fire or anything like that. So just make sure that it's clean up there and in order, and that there aren't things packed around that hard drive. On the flip side, I've kind of been looking around while I'm in there, and the buses look great, you guys. The floors are looking so much better. I know since we don't have any snow or any of that icky white residue that comes from all the salt, everything is looking really good. I just have one thing that I would remind you of is picking up your seat belts and keeping them off the floor, your tie downs off the floor. If your seat belts are getting crusty or stiff or whatever thing, let's make sure that we're cleaning those so that the client doesn't have to touch all that dirt that it's accumulated off of the floor. Okay. And then the last thing that I want to just mention is we now have a patio set out on for our patio outside the conference doors by the parking lot in the back for drivers to sit at as the weather gets nicer. Someday I'm hoping it will get nicer. And we'll be putting the big long picnic table out front on the big patio out front of the building, and then we'll keep that other patio set on the side so that drivers can go out there, eat their lunch, just get some fresh air, so you don't feel so cooped up inside. And yeah, you can just kind of relax until your next shift. So even if you have a cornhole game too, you might want to bring that, and you can have a little exercise while you're sitting there and enjoying the sun, and yeah, just being able to get out and get some fresh air. So that's all I have for you. You guys keep up the good work and keeping those buses clean. I appreciate it. And we'll talk to you later.
Perfect. Thank you, Rini. And thank you so much for taking care of the patio furniture. I am pretty excited about seeing people using that as the weather does get nicer. I feel like it keeps, as Minnesota does, just goes up and down, and you never know what we're going to get. So right now, what I would like to do is introduce Nick. He is here from Principal, and he's going to be talking about our new 403B program. We are going to be starting a matching program that we're hoping to start in July. And I'm going to let Nick take it away, and I'll fill in any other gaps if we need to. But Nick, it's over to you.
All right. Melanie, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you very well. Thank you.
All right. Well, that's the most important thing before you speak on one of these calls, is to make sure that everybody can actually hear you. Good morning, everybody. My name is Nick Halverson, and I'm with Principal Financial Group, and we're the company that helps with the Newtrax 403B retirement plan. And we have exciting news this morning that Newtrax is going to be adding a match. The way the match is going to work, it's a $10 per pay period opportunity to get matching dollars towards your contributions. You guys are paid over the course of 26 pay periods, so there's 26 opportunities to have match throughout the year. The contributions, if you enroll in the plan, the contributions that you put in can be put in either pre-tax or post-tax, what we'll call Roth. And for each and every person, you may individually have a reason to either do pre-tax or post-tax, or you could do a combination. And if you're unclear about that and you're looking to sign up and enroll in the plan, or if you're already participating, please look at me as a resource so that I can walk through your individual situation and help best guide you on whether you should be doing pre-tax or post-tax. In order to be eligible for the plan, you need to be scheduled for at least 20 hours of work per week. If you meet that requirement, you're eligible to contribute to the plan right away, but you have to be with Newtrax for at least 6 months in order to start receiving match, just to be clear. You guys have a fantastic plan. I've worked very closely with Mike to make sure that that is the case. You have a full platform of funds to pick from, including the popular target date retirement funds, where you pick a date that's near when you think you're going to retire, and we handle all the active management and reallocation of your investment program along the way to make it easy for you. We also make it easy to look at your balances. Principal has a first-in-class mobile app to view your account as well as we have a full internet platform as well if you're accessing it via a desktop. And I will say, for those of you that have iPads or tablets, the mobile app is fantastic with that as well. If you're looking to enroll, we want to try to make this educational and as easy as possible. So I'm here locally in the Twin Cities, and I'm willing to meet with people either by a phone meeting. We can do a virtual meeting like Microsoft Teams or Zoom, or we can meet in person as well. Whatever would work best for you to help you get enrolled. Patty, I believe you were getting sent some new enrollment kits. So we'll have plenty of enrollment kits for those of you that would like to get enrolled into the plan. But this is very exciting news. For those of you that are not participating, I would strongly urge you to consider doing that. And please, if you have a minute, get in contact with me, and I can talk specifically about how it will benefit you, the impact to your overall paycheck, etc. Mike, Patty, it's probably an opportunity at some point for an internal email with my contact information, as well as Andrea Boland, my full-time assistant's contact information, but we are here to help you guys, and I'm excited for the new match.
Yeah, Nick, thank you so much. Nick and I have worked together on retirement plans for Merrick Pryor, now Newtrax, for probably close to 15 years. And he's just absolutely terrific about being responsive to people and walking them through any questions they have with these retirement plans, or a great resource if you have a quick question to email him or call him with regarding other financial questions. He's extremely helpful and willing to talk to people about that as well. And, you know, I just want to put in one last plug too, in that, you know, personally, I'm a huge believer that of people saving whatever they can for retirement at whatever stage in their career is. So I'd like to strongly encourage people to take advantage of this, both the match that we're excited to be able to do, but know that we'd like to be able to do more, and hopefully at some point we'll get there. But just the ability to set money aside for retirement, doing it pre-tax, and saving some of that money as well, and some of the advantages that creates. So look forward to getting more people involved and having Nick and Andrea help them out with that program. And Angie and Patty can both answer some questions about how to get these set up as well.
Yes, I have. I just got the brochures on Friday, so I have packets. So come and see me. I'm excited as well.
Absolutely. This is a great new benefit. And also just want to make sure we point out, Angie can also help you get connected with packets or get online or get connected with Nick. She has definitely been working closely with Patty and Nick as well to make sure that this is happening for our staff. We really are truly excited to be able to offer this. And that's just to let you know that we have a retirement plan, that it's there, that you can sign up for that we can help you get that taken from your paycheck. You don't have to worry about that as a side project, that we are here to help you with that, and Nick is here to help you with that. And it truly makes it so much easier. And Nick, what would you say is like the one benefit from having a retirement 403B, in just like a brief maybe sentence or two? Like what's a benefit of having this for them? Like what would be a benefit?
Yeah, so all of us, hopefully in the future, when we're going to retire, are going to have access to some format of Social Security, whether it's the current format or if they make changes to it. And it's a fantastic benefit. But as I've worked with people over the last 20 years, helping them with their personal retirement plans, I will tell you, it is very important to contribute to a personal retirement plan where you're putting money away throughout the course of your working career. That is going to be a complement to Social Security and or any pensions that you may have to help with retirement. And you will thank yourself later when you have a combination of different tools that you've built to help you retire with integrity. It's a much better retirement than if you only have Social Security. So it is very, very important for people to plan for the future. Time is your best friend with investing. The sooner you start, the better. The That's the number one thing I hear is, I wish I would have started 5 years or 10 years or 15 years ago. And the other thing that I'll tell you that's really a help is when your employer assists with a match. And this is a very momentous day for Newtrax. Like Mike said, Mike's passionate about retirement planning himself. And I know if the opportunity to do more presents itself, it'll be considered. But this is a great start, in particular for anybody who's not contributing, to get some help from Newtrax to save for their retirement.
Absolutely. And Nick, would you agree that, I mean, I've always heard that it's never too late to start. Would you also agree with that?
It's never too late. And just to make it clear, for any of you that are on this call that you're interested in starting, or even if you're participating, but you're wondering how you're doing financially based on your retirement goals and objectives, call me about that. That's what I do for a living, and I can help. I don't have a crystal ball. I wish I did, but I can try to give you as clear of a vision of what the future is going to look like based on what you're doing. And sometimes that is a big motivator, knowing that if I put an extra $50 a month away, that's what it's going to take for me to retire at the age that I want to retire at, with the lifestyle that I want. So I'm always happy to field those questions and help people look out into the future to see their own personal plan.
Well, thank you, Nick. We really appreciate your time and being here. And just so everyone knows, you will have, like he said multiple times, you will have access to him to be able to ask questions, talk about your personal situations and questions. And we will get you his information in the communication and also post that somewhere. And as Patty has said, she has that information, and so does Angie. So if you would like to get in contact with him, we will make sure you get connected. Thank you so much, Nick.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nick.
All right, so with that, we really appreciate Nick and his time, and we've also got another great announcement to say. So one is that we are going to be doing matching for all those employees that are eligible and that he mentioned. We also have part-time PTO that will actually be starting May 3rd, and we're very, very excited to be able to offer this. We just want to say we are thankful for all our employees. We want to make sure that we also get to honor our part-time employees who really put in a lot of work, who are flexible with their time, who pick up shifts for Patty and the team. And so in one way to do that, we're going to be offering part-time PTO, which is paid time off hours, starting May 3rd. And what that is going to look like, I'm actually going to try to share my screen here for just a second so that you guys can see. All right, and I'm going to pull that up. All right, so let's see, perfect. I'm just going to go over this briefly. We are working on finishing up edits to the handbook, so you will also see this in the handbook, so you will have access to it, and we will, when the handbook is finished, we will have handbook reviews, and all staff will be a part of those, and we'll do them in smaller groups, but we'll get there when we get there. But for right now, we're going to look at the PTO policy, and we are excited to offer full-time and part-time PTO. We have always offered it to full-time employees, and it is based on years of service. And if you have any questions about that, feel free to ask Patty or myself. But the new part here is part-time PTO. This starts accruing after your first day of work, and you can start using it after you complete your 90 days of service. And you will notice the rate is here. If you guys can see that, it is 0.038 per hour worked. And so the nice thing is you don't have to work so many hours to be able to get this. It is just by each hour that you work. If you have any questions about that, please do let us know. The other exciting thing that we are excited to offer is also holiday pay. Let's see if I can come over. Holiday pay for, oh, it's on my screen, never mind. Let's see if it's, there we go. This is also part-time floating holidays, and this may be a little confusing, but I'm going to try to do my best to describe it now, and then we can definitely get it to you in several different ways. So this is another benefit we'd like to offer, is that typically we have floating holidays that we offer to full-time employees. And it's going to be on the same schedule as the full-time hours, but it's going to look a little different. So each January 1st and July 1st, depending on your years of service as a part-timer, this is what it would look like. So at the end of your first year, it would be 4 hours. So this is going to be confusing. Mike, correct me if I'm wrong. It's actually 2 hours on January 1st and 2 hours on July 1st, which would be a total, if you get to have both of those, would be a total of 4 hours during those years of service. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, great. So, and then depending on your years of service, that's what the breakdown would be. But just making sure that you understand that it's not you don't just get the lump sum of 4 hours right away at the beginning of the year. It would be 2 hours January 1st and then 2 hours on July 1st. We are very excited to be offering the holiday pay and part-time PTO. And just a couple of reminders with PTO. Of course, we have this policy, but I'm gonna stop sharing my screen here. Just a reminder is that you do need to put in your time off requests. Those need to go into When to Work. That is the system that we have now, so you need to put it in When to Work so that Patty and the team can see that. And just keep in mind that the goal is not to have more than 2 drivers off each day, and there are special exceptions for that, and Patty is totally in charge of figuring that out. But just remember, there are some guidelines to being able to take time off. You need to make sure that you put it in at least 2 weeks beforehand, and make sure you're communicating with Patty. Patty, I'm also going to give you a second here to talk about any guidelines that you feel like you need to go over quickly in taking PTO.
Yes, with the PTO, just try to get that in as soon as possible. I do try to work miracles and try to get people off as because I know it's important to have time off as well. And yes, we do have 2 people off a day, but sometimes we do get short, and I appreciate everyone's flexibility in that. And I do try to get as many people as I can, but our full-time sub drivers and getting more people in will always help getting those days off. And 2, I just want to mention about the floating holidays for full-time employees, that you do get full-time floating holidays 2 a year. When you first start, you have to be hired between January 1st and March 31st to be able to be eligible for the 2 floating holidays, and that you can use that first one until June 30th, and then you get another one starting July 1st to use to the end of the year. And then, so every employee, if you're hired at the beginning of the year, gets 2 floating holidays. And then we also have this 3rd floating holiday, but you do have to work here a full year, and this is for full-time employees. If you do not call in sick for that whole year, I mean, I know when you're sick, you need to use, you know, sick, but it's just a little perk that we also have here, that you get an additional 3rd floating holiday if you don't call in sick for that whole calendar year. And floating holidays they do not roll over, so you do have to use them during that calendar year, and you need to manage that as well. I mean, I am pretty good about saying, hey, you got 1 left, but you do need to be managing those floating holidays as well as your PTO too. And I'm not going to go too much into it, but if you have a question about your PTO, please come and talk to me about it, because you need to manage that, because you can only roll over so much as well. So if you think that you have too much, then come and talk to me.
When you say calendar year, are you talking January 1st to December 31st?
For the floating holidays, that is correct.
Okay, all right. Just want to make sure we clarify what that calendar year is. Thank you, Patty.
So PTO is a little different. So come and talk to me. I don't want to get too much into that right now, but if you think that you might have too much, come and talk to me about that. And then I just have one more thing that I want to share before I give it back to you. And it doesn't have to do with PTO, and I'm sorry, I should have talked about it earlier, but seating charts. I have gotten calls that now, you know, we have when people are sick and our partner organizations need to know like where clients sit. We really need those seating charts up, and we need a copy of those seating charts because they're asking us where people are sitting on the vehicle. And so if you can please make seating charts, and I know you're getting different clients on a weekly basis right now, but we really need to have those seating charts up to date just so we can give those to our partner organizations so they can be able to know where the clients are sitting in case people are sick. So please get those into the dispatchers, and please dispatchers get those into where the management team can get those and get those right over to the sites when they ask for us. So if you don't have those in your buses, please get those within the week here and get those to the dispatchers. Thank you.
Thank you, Patty. And so just to reiterate, we are very, very excited we are offering 3 new benefits. I just want to make sure, I'm going to recap that real quick. So one is we are starting a 403B matching, which we'd really love for you to take advantage of. If you have more questions, we'll help you with that. It is $10 per pay period. So that's one new benefit. The other new benefit is part-timers are going to now be accruing paid time off, which we're very excited about. And also part-timers will start getting holiday hours. So we are very excited to offer those 3 new benefits. If you have questions about them, please feel free to talk to me, talk to Patty, or Mike Greenbaum will walk you through what that is and what exactly the policy, all those good things. So we're very excited to offer those programs. Now what I'd love to do is Scott, are you still with us? I think he walked out for just a second.
We have our new restaurant meal program starting right now, and he's getting the drivers off and explaining to them what's going on. So I can just talk quickly about some of the food distribution that we have as he gets that going. So as most of you know, we've done a great amount of food distribution over the last 12 months that has entailed a lot of different things. Delivering food boxes, prepared meals for Washington County, YMCA program that we had that delivered over 800,000 meals, and then the food restaurant program that we started, regarding delivering meals to seniors and free and reduced lunch families in White Bear and Matamidi School District. So we started that with a $100,000 program and paid out $85,000 to restaurants to help them in this time, and delivered 8,500 meals to those in need. Well, that got picked up and built upon by a local foundation that donated over $500,000 that we spent the last 13 weeks delivering over 25,000 meals in that time. Well, that funding ran out at the end of last week, and that Scott's working on right now. We have had $9,000 contributed to kind of restart the original program, and have some another foundation that has reached out to us, letting us know that they're interested in keeping this going. So that's what Scott's working on right now and getting that going starting today. And there's also potential as some of the new stimulus money gets out to local municipalities that they may have an interest in continuing that on moving forward as well. So the amount of food that we have distributed over the last 13 months is staggering, and being able to be a support to our local community is something that we feel very proud of as an organization. Scott's back, so you can pick up on anything that I missed there, Scott, and add anything that I didn't talk about.
Hey everyone, well, unfortunately, I didn't hear what you talked about, so I don't know what you missed. I'll just say one thing. Thank you, everybody, for all the help you've given with the food deliveries and all the craziness that has gone on with the community. We've had a lot of things going, and as Patty mentioned earlier, we've got a lot of things coming up. I'm doing my best to get a lot of it in midday, but some of it will be outside of midday and some of it will be after hours. So we'll just keep working with our patients here to make certain that we get as many hours out to people who are interested. We've got vaccination shuttles that are happening. Maybe Mike mentioned that. And we have a lot of our senior buildings that are coming back, ready for their activities to begin again. So I'm getting calls daily about all of that. And I would just, one last thing, just make certain when you get your paperwork, just reread it, because lately we've been getting a lot of last minute changes. So what may become a regular pattern sometimes could switch up in terms of where you may need to go and what time you need to be there. So please just read your driver sheets and we'll be good to go. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Scott. And thank you for all of your hard work with that. And then I'm also excited to say Addie, our intern, is working on how Newtrax has responded to COVID over this last period of time. I want to say a year, but it's been more than a year at this point. So as she completes that, we will make sure that you all get a chance to look at it to see how Newtrax has responded over this past year. We have really done some incredible things as a team, and we couldn't do it without each team member doing their part and pulling together to make this happen, not just for our partners and our clients, but also for the community. So it's been really excellent to be a part of that. So just thank you from my end. I know each of us has said thank you in a different way, but I really appreciate being a part of a team who's really worked so hard to do such amazing things for our community. What we want to do with this time right now is leave a few minutes open to ask questions, say any comments or a story that you might want to share. You can use the chat feature. This would be a time if you want to turn on your camera and at least say a wave and say hi. Or if you want to raise your hand because you have a question, feel free to do that. I can look for that as well. This is just your time to give you the stage, the opportunity to talk or to ask a question or give us feedback. We are constantly looking for feedback of how we can improve these meetings or things that we do on the day-to-day operations or things that you want to see. Does anybody have any questions? Or you can all turn on your cameras and do exactly what Douglas did. Maybe give us a head nod.
I've never heard the drivers be so quiet.
Right? I saw somebody's mic come on. Somebody's thinking about asking a question.
Hey, Patty, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, on this when to work thing now we got, and I I'll send you a message. I never get a reply back. Remember we talked about that? You couldn't do it. And then when I put in a request for a vacation, how come it takes so long to get a reply back on that? It was kind of faster with the old paperwork.
The only time that it takes a while to get back is if there's already 2 people on that day. And when it gets closer to the time where I know how many drivers I have. So if it's taking a little bit longer and you have a vacation that's planned, come and talk to me about it. But I do try to give, if there's only 2 people off, I do try to do them as quickly as I can. But that's where the delay is a little bit. And so if you just want to know, I mean, we can talk about that as well. And then the response for the reply, yeah, I mean, to that PTO thing, we talked about that as well. So we got that taken care of. So that issue is taken care of. So yeah, so the PTO, I try to do the best I can, but when there's more than 2 drivers asking for off, I just have to wait until the week. I mean, if it's like something that you really need off, please come and talk to me about it. and I usually give it to you, so.
And
Did
with
that
that
answer-
too, make sure
That
that
was-
we say that we
that
give
was
you paid
Craig.
part-time.
That was Craig. Did that answer your question, Craig?
If you have any more questions, Craig, you just let us know. And I will just say, just remember that PTO, that time off, is something that we want to give you. And I know Patty works really hard to make sure that we honor that. We want you to rest and to be able to recuperate and do the things you want to do and go on family vacations or pursue some things that you want to pursue. So I know Patty works very hard to honor those requests.
Should I say
And I need-
something?
For the messaging.
Hello?
Oh, go ahead.
Doing nothing. Yeah, this is Mark. Why is every single person in the trans on our tablets a wheelchair?
That is an issue that we are taking, trying to take care of. We do have that meeting tomorrow with our vendor. So hopefully we'll get those resolved, Mark. We are aware of that, and that is on our agenda for tomorrow's meeting. We're sorry about that, and so they're supposed to take care of that.
Anyone else? Questions, concerns? We like that you guys are turning on your mics and talking to us.
Patty, are we supposed to be signing in on a sheet? Is that down here that we've done this meeting? Or, and then I'd also like to just mention too, if you guys have missed some of the past training videos, just to make sure that you get in contact with me if you've watched them, and so I can mark you off on my sheet.
Yes, there is a sheet right outside my office, so please come and initial that. And as new drivers, when you come in from your route, please punch out and then punch back in if you stay around Newtrax here. But if you do go home for these meetings, punch out and then do an adjustment slip for the 1 hour training meeting that you will get paid for these meetings.
I have just one more, quick thank you, and want to recognize how helpful and how great it is that the diligence that you all have taken to get vaccinated. The comfort that that provides our partner organizations, the families of our riders, has been just tremendous, and that so many of us have been vaccinated, and that are the families of the people that ride our buses and the seniors that ride our buses feel confident and comfortable that in all likelihood that their driver has been vaccinated. So appreciate so many of you taking the time and jumping through the hoops to go do that. So that's provided us with some great knowledge for our partner organizations to be able to pass along.
If there's no one else, I'd like to say hello to the group. I don't know that I've met most of you. I started right before COVID hit and then went home to work at a home office. And so as we're all returning to the office to work, or as I am, I'd like to say hi. And if you see me running in and out of the office, I would love it if you would, stop me and say hello, introduce yourself. I'd like to get to know you all a little bit more. So just wanted to say hi. My name is Angie, the new bookkeeper, for those that don't know who I am. But I think I see every once in a while, I'll see one of you running around, and I just wanted to say hello and invite you to come up and say hi.
Angie, can you tell the team a few of the things that you do as a bookkeeper?
Sure. Yep, I do. I pay the bills for Newtrax. I am partly responsible for payroll, send out the bills that we bill our partner organizations, and kind of all of that office work stuff. Just kind of keeping all that housekeeping up to date.
Perfect.
Yeah, Angie and Umu, who's on here as well as our financial analyst, have done a terrific job over this last year, helping as we are trying to take advantage of the federal funding programs that have kept us financially viable over this last 13 months, and making sure that we are tracking how we're spending the money accurately so we keep ourselves out of trouble and make sure that we can let the federal programs know how we're spending this money. The amount of time and work and effort they've put into making sure that we are doing everything correctly has been huge. So appreciate the time and work both of you have put into that. Thank you.
Absolutely. And Amu just waved. If you haven't seen him before, he can wave again. Amu, do you want to wave? There you go. There he is. Perfect. All right. Anyone else? Any other questions before we go? I will say that we did get some in the chat. If you didn't see the chat feature, we did get some feedback from Tom. It's from the Tiger Fitness. He said the staff is really friendly and the equipment is well maintained and it's never crowded. Just as some extra benefits to the benefit. But I know that we also did find out, they let us know that that there isn't a shower at the gym, just in case you're hoping to do that. It looks like that is not available currently. All right. Well, if there is nothing else, if you do have other questions or would like to tell us about something, as you know, as I think many of the team have said, our doors are open. Feel free to come and send a message, call us, email, come to our offices. And especially for me, I know I'm not always in the office, so feel free to just, I'm still available though. So and I know you have my cell phone, so just feel free to let me know that you need something. Be happy to take care of that for you. We're so thankful that, I will say this is the highest number we've had on a team meeting at a time. There's 43 of us here and present. So I'm very excited for that and hope that number continues to stay consistent. Of course, it depends on who's driving and what's happening, all of those things. But so glad you guys are here. And I hope more of you turn on your cameras next time so we can see your faces, and have a wonderful rest of your Monday.
I just want to say one more thing. I just want to say thank you, drivers, for being so flexible over the last month of when we were putting routes together and being down drivers and coming in and seeing that you have clients added to your routes. It really means a lot that we have so many drivers that are team players and that step up and that really help us out. So we really do appreciate it. And I know Mike Flack appreciates the flexibility of all these new clients. Well, they're not new, but clients coming back and just, you know, helping out when you have a new person on there and just being positive. And it just helps us out when we go to drivers and when we have changes that, you know, we are here for the clients, and it really, you know, reminds us that we have some really awesome drivers that are here doing wonderful things. So we as a management team just can't say thank you enough for all, you know, your help and being team players. So have a good day, and come and talk to me if you want to get going on the retirement plan. Bye.